Greg and David, thank you for speaking with me. Greg, just talk us through the day, really. What happened?
Well, I mean, it was an interesting day, really. The one thing that I was really apprehensive about was the cold.
Yeah.
And the water temperature was 18 degrees C. But interesting enough, that didn't affect me at all today. I felt great in the water. First half went fantastic, right on pace. So I hit half Wyhte. It's at 4 hours, about 3 miles an hour. Next 4 hours went particularly well, at which time I was hoping to have reached shore. And then unfortunately we hit some very heavy currents, went nowhere for about an hour and a half, despite some significant effort. And then the fog came in and the waves lifted. And that was really at the point where it was time to call it a day. And that's the way it goes.
How far were you from?
2 miles from shore.
And you could see France when you...
So about 22 miles done, only 2 miles remaining. You just keep reminding yourself that you're actually warm and that you're not cold. Yeah. And that's really quite important because it is very cold out there, you know, and you can actually talk yourself into being so cold that you want to get out. The other one is to focus on pace and make sure that you're constantly keeping pace. Yeah. And the other one is just to keep a sort of mental note about where you are. And to some extent the importance of what you're doing as well, and basically raising money for charity and really don't want to let anybody else down as well as yourself. It's really weird actually because the pilot boat is so close to you. What you tend to do is focus on the boat, or when for instance David or my brother or Richie Ball got in with me, then what you do is you focus on them. The last thing you really want to do is actually focus on the fact that you've got 100 metres of sea below you with anything in it. And
massive seals or something.
Exactly, and the fact that you're actually 10 miles from either shore. It's David's fault entirely.
David's fault.
I didn't want to do it. He made me do it. No, we started this journey together. Yeah. And right at the very beginning, the concept was that I'd actually swim it with David together. The Channel Swimming Association rules say that we can't do that. So I, unfortunately, stupidly said that I'd still have a go at it, even though I wasn't swimming with David. And it absolutely was. It made a massive difference that David was on the boat, and it made a massive difference that he got in the water with me. Brilliant. And in fact, at the crucial moment right at the end when David got in for an hour with me, that made a massive difference because that was the time when it was really starting to get very, very tough. No. No, that's it. I've done my attempt. We did 20 miles, and it would have been nice to complete it. I'm a bit disappointed not to have completed. I gave it my best shot. Exactly.
It did brilliantly. I mean, it's a really cruel event, this, because if the weather changes and the mist came down and it got really rough, it's like you're 2 miles off the shore and you're being pulled out. It's really, really tough. There's nothing that really you can compare it to, because it was a marathon. You'd walk the last 2 miles, wouldn't you? So, so you did brilliantly, but it was obviously pretty, it was disappointing. I wouldn't have made it because it changed. It really did change during the day, and it was really tough. And at the end, you're most disorientated. I mean, you go a little bit crazy really in the water. It's a cold water, and it's really weird just being submerged for that long. And then the mist came down, you couldn't see the shore anymore, so it was really, really hard. So yeah, it was really, really tough today. But I mean, even the people who've swum in the channel 30 times make attempts that don't make it. You know what I mean? There's no guarantee you're ever going to make it.
The cold.
Probably the worst bit is probably from the start to the finish.
Just the important bit then.
No, it's just cold. It's
definitely the cold.
It's odd. It is hot, and there's a sort of misery to it. It's miserable because you're cold and you're uncomfortable, and the sense of achievement is amazing, but there's something about it that you just think, I can't believe people have done it loads of times. I just think, no way am I going back in there.
No.
And I just thought, I can't quite believe it, and I was so tired and drained. I just couldn't. I thought, is this really happening, or is this a dream? You know, it really was. I know that sounds like a real cliche. It was one of those times where I actually was thinking, I better make sure I'm not dreaming this. It doesn't seem.
Because I seem to remember when you done your Croatia swim, you said that everything seemed a bit surreal. You go into sort of a dream.
Yeah. Well, it's just very weird. You're really out of this environment for a long time, and you're alone with your thoughts for a really long time. You start to go a little bit mad, isn't it? A little bit. You're not quite yourself. It's really strange. It's not.
And the fatigue.
Yeah, the fatigue does something. The cold does something to your head. I just was constantly trying to think, oh, I've got to swim for half an hour, because I think if you think, oh, I'm going to be swimming for 10 hours,
Yeah.
you know, after 2 hours, you think, I can't swim enough. You just swim to each feed or something like that.
Fun and excitement.
No, definitely no more channel swimming, which is great.
Yeah. Never attempt a channel again.